So thanks once again for dropping by the channel. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it, if you felt it was useful. Now let's get into this. Before I actually get into this, currently here in Dublin, it is, I think at the time we're recording this, it's about 4 minutes past midnight. So it's officially G-Man's birthday today. It's officially Wednesday, so big 27, hashtag G-Man's Rocks better be trending on this goddamn video. It better be. You know, that's a birthday present from the subs to me. You know. Anyway, never mind that. We're gonna get into this. Just a little bit of, personal info there. But anyway, we're gonna get into this. Eddie Hearn recently gave an interview, and he was discussing Billy Joe Saunders in his next fight. Now, I want to shout out Big Dan, a subscriber of mine. He knows who he is. I think he's been subscribed to me for a while now. He left a comment to one of my videos saying that Billy Joe's purported next date is either November 28th, which would be a week after Povetkin versus White, or December 5th, which would be the following week. Now, the idea is that Callum Smith and Billy Joe have fights at the end of the year, get rid of the ring rust, because both guys will have been out of the ring for about a year by the time that rolls around. And then if neither of them gets the Canelo fight, which God only knows what's happening there, we will likely get the unification possibly February or March 2021. Okay. Now, Eddie Hearn has given a short list of 4 potential opponents who Billy Joe Saunders could be likely to fight. Now, number 1 on that list is a name I said in my video, the last video I done about Billy Joe, and I said Martin Murray. That's at this minute in time first pick. Second pick is Rocky Fielding, again matchroom fighter. Martin Murray, I'm not sure what the hell is up with him, because one minute he's a matchroom fighter, then he's fighting on fish eyes cards, and God only knows. God only knows. But anyway, Rocky Fields, as far as I know, is still with Matchroom. John Ryder was the 3rd pick, and we know he's still with Matchroom. And then I believe it was Fedor Chudanov was the 4th. He's a free agent, or if he's not a free agent, I think he's with Sauerland. I think Sauerland, I could be wrong now if someone wants to correct me on that, but I think it is Sauerland. If which is the case, they have a good working relationship, Eddie Hearn and Sauerland. Anyway, let's just look at that list, right? Chudanov, can't see it. Can't see that fight happening at all. I just, that doesn't make sense to me. You know, it's not a bad name, Fedor Chudanov, but I just can't see the making heads or tails of that fight. In terms of John Ryder, he's probably the most deserving out of those of a title shot, given the fact what happened with him in the Callum Smith fight. In terms of just, well, there's 2 things you need to take into consideration, right? 1, John Ryder is a risky opponent. You know, he is a very, very good fighter. He's a much improved fighter. You know, I thought he beat Callum Smith, personally. So him against Billy Joe, that could be a potential banana skin for Billy Joe. And I don't think if Eddie Hearn knows there's a unification down the line with 2 reasonably big names in the UK, probably Billy Joe was more a big name than Callum Smith, to be fair. Callum Smith would be more a big name in Liverpool than he would be around the rest of the country anyway. But if he wants to get this unification fight done, you don't want to risk Billy Joe against a really, really good opponent like John Ryder. And at the end of the day, Billy Joe versus John Ryder, 2 southpaws. It very seldom does it lead to compelling views. Very, very seldom do 2 southpaws having a fight lead to compelling views or compelling viewing. So I'd say that fight is a long shot, a very long shot. It's the one that is the most competitive, I think, out of all of them, but I just can't see that. In terms of the top 2, I mean, Rocky Fielding, he had a fight last November, I believe. I forget the guy's name, but he knocked the guy out in 2 rounds. That was on an MTK show. And obviously before that, he fought Canelo. Rocky Fielding is a very, very big man for the weight. You know, he's quite big for super middleweight. He's fought up as high as light heavyweight before. He's bigger than Billy Joe naturally. But the skill level is night and day. You know, Billy Joe is way more skilled than Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding is very, very crude. You know, he's a solid domestic / European level fighter. In terms of him cutting at a world level, like knocked out and around by Callum Smith, you know, knocked out in 3 by Canelo. You know, he's had a few shaky. He got a very, very, dubious decision over John Ryder, I believe it was, a couple of years ago. That was for a British title, I believe. Then again, he's looked good in certain fights against guys like David Brophy. But again, this is all at domestic level. So, Rocky Fielding, I mean, I could see it happening because it's probably a low-risk opponent for Billy Joe. So I could see that happening. But number 1 on the list is Martin Murray. Now, cast your minds back to 2018. that was when Billy Joe was coming off the back of the Lemieux performance. That Lemieux performance, people, and I've done it myself, I always bring that up because that was Billy Joe on his night. That was him at his A game. And I always allude to that because Billy Joe got such momentum and people were talking about him so much after that fight that he really needed to strike while the iron was hot and get another fight in, because people, they still had that fight fresh in the memory. And obviously he didn't. He fought a year later against Ndamu. But the original opponent, because they were going to do Billy Joe versus Martin Murray in April 2018 at the O2, they pulled the plug on that fight. Then they were going to reschedule it for July 2018, I believe it was, and then that went, you know what, as well, in the air as well. So Billy Joe, Martin Murray, they've tried to do that fight before. Like Martin Murray, Billy Joe, they're both middleweights really, fighting at super middleweight. Martin Murray's always really been a middleweight. He did try a brief stint at super middleweight a few years ago, but he got beat by guys like Arthur Abraham, and he went back down to middleweight fairly quick. Martin Murray, I mean, like, at this stage in Martin Murray's career, like, and he retired, he fought and lost to Hassan and Dam. At this stage in Martin Murray's career, gonna ask you the question, is he really deserving of a world title shot?
Well, it's a fairly short debate, Murray. End of message. 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'll let Martin Brundle answer that question. No, obviously he is not deserving of a world title shot. I think he's only had like 1 or 2 fights as he came back, and they've been against, no hopers. They were on MTK shows, as far as I believe. So, like, Martin Murray versus Billy Joe, I mean, I think at this stage, you got to say, it's probably the lowest risk out of the lot. So you could get, and obviously they could sell it. And I know Martin Murray was pretty upset that he never got the Billy Joe fight. Obviously he was upset that he missed out on the payday. He missed out on the crack at the world title. So I'm sure he's going to look at this fight now and think, what, I want this fight. I should have had it 2 years ago. I never got it, so now I'm going to get it now. I'm sure that's the way he's looking at it, but, it's been like, as I said, 2 years. 2 years. And, as I said, he lost to guys like Hassan and Dam. At this stage, Hassan and Dam's career, if you're losing to him, it's not a good look. So, Martin Murray, lowest risk. There's no reward. There's no reward, but it's a win. It's a domestic clash. And, yeah, you would make Billy Joe firm favourite in that fight. So, I would imagine that's the route they're going to go with getting Billy Joe's next opponent. I haven't mentioned anything about Callum Smith, who he's going to fight next. Again, you would imagine it's probably not going to be someone who's going to set the world alight. I don't know if it'll be anyone in around that circle. They might look elsewhere. I'm surprised he hasn't named Zach Parker as one of the opponents. That did surprise me, because I do believe he's highly ranked by the WBO, if not mandatory. After he fought that Rowan Murdoch guy back in March, I think it was when he fought him. Commonwealth level fight that was. Zach Parker had a European level, truth be told. That's how some of these eliminators take place. You defend a WBO kind of interim title, or not interim title, but like European Intercontinental title. You get put into an eliminator, and that eliminator could be no more than a Commonwealth clash, realistically, on paper. But then you get, made mandatory, or you get made fairly close to getting mandatory. So, surprised his name wasn't mentioned. I don't really see that as much of a risk for Billy Joe, truth be told. Like, I've never really been impressed with Zach Parker as a fighter. So I don't know why his name wasn't getting mentioned. He's fought on Matchroom cards before, so I'll wait and see about that. But anyway, those are my thoughts on this. Let me know who you think Billy Joe should fight. I mean, like, realistically, like, John Ryder is the most deserving. Rocky Fielding, no. I mean, Shooting-Off isn't a bad fight, but I can't see that fight happening. And you've got Martin Murray, who was like literally the lowest risk, realistically, So they'll probably end up putting them in with him. Like I said, they don't want to risk Billy Joe or Callum Smith losing, because they have a unification potentially next year. If either one of them gets the Canelo fight, which at this stage now, it's God only knows what he's doing. Seriously. So, they're probably going to try and strike while the iron's hot, get both these guys in, and then get them out next year in a unification fight, which will be good to see. I'll be happy to see it. Obviously, it's going to be in the UK. Hopefully, fans are there. Hopefully, next year anyway. So I'll wait and see. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button, please. It really, really, really does help the channel. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, people, I'll talk to you. Peace.